right! Johnny Depp's dogs threatened with death for daring to transgress Australia's laws. Also, if we're feeling particularly mean, we will kill them by feeding them Vegemite flavoured chocolate. Totally fucked up! G'day viewers and welcome to another Totally Fucked Up Friday, where I bring you news that I possibly thought I never would, where a federal government minister in Australia straight up threatened to kill a movie star's dogs. Before I start making jokes, I just want to say Australia's laws about importing animals and protecting our ecosystem, they're actually really important, and there's lots of diseases that just don't exist in Australia, like rabies, foot and mouth, mad cow disease, a bunch of other things, and the chances of Johnny Depp having brought his dogs in accidentally and not as a deliberate subversion of the laws are very slim, so it's a fuck thing. But fuck that, let's have fun with it. Barnaby Joyce, who's one of the more colourful members of the government, made some fairly radical statements this week where he didn't just point out they've uncovered that Johnny Depp brought dogs into Australia illegally on a private plane. He just went straight to, we're gonna kill them. The dogs, who are implausibly named Boo and Pistol, have been brought in to keep Johnny Depp company while he shoots a Pirates of the Caribbean movie in Australia. And Barnaby Joyce leapt straight to, we're gonna kill the fuckers. Now, Barnaby Joyce is not someone I agree with on a lot of things, but he's not a stupid man. You might want to argue that he pushes some policies that you think are stupid, but there's no way he's a stupid man. So he knew exactly what he was doing and exactly the sort of attention he was going to get by doing this. So rather than just saying, we're going to take the dogs and put them into quarantine and they'll have to stay there until they've been thoroughly checked out, jumping straight to, we're going to fucking euthanize these dogs, he knew he was going to get worldwide attention. I'm thinking Barnaby hasn't been hugged enough lately. He just wants people to pay attention to him. As worked, he's worldwide news at the moment. And apparently, as I speak, Johnny Depp has actually decided to leave the country with the dogs to stop them being killed. But it led to some weird things, like a couple of news sites in Australia having Johnny Depp dog death clocks. It was counting down to, if they stayed here for this long, they would actually be killed. That was a thing that was happening this week. And one of the weirdest things is because some people are saying he not only brought them into Australia without declaring them, he appears to have left the US without declaring he was carrying them. So one media headline was that the dogs could be stateless because they wouldn't be allowed into the US because they never left the US legally. These dogs are not Edward Snowden, okay? They never had a state. They're fucking dogs, okay? So let's not get too head up, but I honestly don't begrudge Barnaby Joyce his moment in the sun. For whatever reason, he's decided he wants to be known around the world as a little bit loopy. It's, you know, it's kind of like equating to someone who would go on YouTube and just shout and swear a lot with no sort of explanation so that people around the world go, well, that guy's a bit fucking weird. I don't understand, but, you know, that's Barnaby Joyce for you. In some slightly more serious politics, in the last week or so, the UK elections happened, and the Tories did what no one thought they would, get an outright majority. Congratulations to them. Honestly, you don't have to know much about me to know I'm very strongly opposed to the conservative policies pushed by parties like the Tories. But fuck, man, they achieved what no one thought they would, and now they're going to do whatever the fuck they want. You can put some fairly solid arguments about the way the UK voting system works is kind of fucked and doesn't really represent the views of the majority of people. But shit happens, man, and that's what it is. And everyone who fucking slagged the Lib Dems, including me, saying they were useless and did nothing, well, we're about to find out what the Lib Dems stopped from happening when they were in coalition with the Tories. And my personal favourite, because I honestly think ultimately this is not going to sit very well with a significant number of Tories, is Cameron saying, he's basically saying, we're going to get the muzzos, okay? He's worked out, he's seen Tony Abbott going hard on the muzzos. Yeah, that wins you votes. And he's basically said thought crime is now a thing. I have not seen many more creepy things from a democratic government than saying, oh, we've been too soft. We used to say, so long as you didn't break the law, we'd leave you alone. Those days are over. He has explicitly said, you don't have to break the law to be fucked over by the government. It's like he wants to make me happy again that I'm under Tony Abbott and not him, because he's actually saying, like, oh, if they say radical stuff that we don't like, they won't have to break the law for us to come down on them. And okay, look, they're saying at the moment that it's like, oh, these bloody Muslim clerics who are inciting the kiddies to do stupid things, that's who we're going after. But if anyone can point to any government in history that hasn't abused power like that, well, it will be news to me, because I did a bit of looking. And as soon as someone says, we're going to prosecute you just because we don't like what you say, shit gets really ugly. And I feel like that's what's in the future for the UK. Hey, and for the rest of the world, let's talk about this is US-centric but affects the whole world. The Trans-Pacific Partnership, which I've talked about for literally years, is getting close to the crunch point. It's taken years to get to a vote point because it's so fucked. And the US Senate seems to be currently moving towards doing a fast-track approval, basically approving an international treaty where they don't actually know the full ramifications. Depending what your particular hobby horse is, you may find different parts of it more troublesome. A lot of online people are worried that there's some really absurd copyright protection things in there that will affect what we regard as the internet quite badly, and they will be bad, but I have to admit, I can't bring myself to be that worked up about them. The one thing that really gets to me are provisions where companies can successfully sue governments when a government decides to impose a particular law and the company says, oh, but that affects my free commerce. The idea that a fucking foreign company can supersede the laws put in place by an elected government in my country is fucking terrifying. So link down below. This is being driven by the US. If it gets derailed in the US, it's derailed everywhere. It looks like the Senate is going to approve the fast track, but there are more opponents in the House. I'm going to put a link down below from the Electronic Frontier Foundation, EFF.org. If you want to step out against it, follow what they say down there. If you're in the US, you have the ability to not only help yourself, but help the whole fucking world right here. Because this shit is way fucked up. And I also wanted to have a thing, it's a bit more quantitative in Australia. Okay, the Barnaby Joyce thing is kind of funny. There's a story this week that blew my mind. It's like, oh, the Australian government has been aggressively lobbying the UN to try and make sure the Great Barrier Reef doesn't get listed as being in danger, because they've allowed all this freakish expansion of coal mines and ports. They've been dredging in ports. Basically, everyone who knows anything about the ecology of the reef saying you're doing a whole cavalcade of shit that will fucking kill the Great Barrier Reef. And if it gets declared in danger by Unesco, it will, sort of have an effect on the international trade from these coal things. So the government doesn't want that to happen. Oh, guys, there are two ways to approach this. One is your way of saying, oh, I think we'll lobby these people to not look at the evidence and find that it's in danger. The second way is to not fucking do things that fucking endanger the reef. That's another way to fucking look at it, you fucking idiots. Holy crap, I can't believe I have to spell this out to people. Like, oh, why do all these scientists say that we're in danger of food? Because you fucking are! Stop doing it, you assholes! I just want to close off now. A little bit of science. Because I'm pretty sure scientists do chocolate. And has science gone too far? People are about, oh, are scientists going to try and do cloning? And are they going to bring about artificial intelligence at the throat? You know, don't worry about that. Because what they're doing now going too far, they're blending Vegemite with chocolate. This is a real fucking thing. I've got my... Don't worry about abstracts like cloning and the singularity and artificial intelligence and robots. This is fucking Vegemite and chocolate. This is a real thing. You asked the question, can science go too far? I think they fucking have. And I am going to try this for the first time live on camera. I have no idea what this stuff tastes like. So let's just go. Oh my god. Oh my god, there's actually a gooey filling in here. I thought there was just a flavour going into a chocolate. But there's actually like a gooey filling in there. I didn't realise. And it's got a vague Vegemite flavour. And basically, if you like salted caramel, you'll probably like this. I'm going to make a big song and dance about being sick on camera because I was eating Vegemite chocolate, but God help me, I like it.